Guys, Eric here from Top Guns of Terre Haute, Indiana. On today's episode of Range Talk, we're going to talk about a very American gun, the 870 Remington shotgun in particular. There are several models, different manufacturers make the defensive shotgun. These two are both 870s. Stick with us, I think you're going to learn a lot. Folks, what I've got here in front of me is a couple of my personal shotguns. As you can see, these are both 870 Remingtons. Oddly enough, I just got back from a very intense 3-day shotgun school. Learned a lot. One of the things we did was we ran these guns extremely hard. And when I say extremely hard, I'm talking like 450 round count in a 3-day period. I know that doesn't sound like a lot through most firearms, but trust me, if you ask my right shoulder, it's a lot through a 12-gauge shotgun. A few of the things that we want to think about for shotgun for home defense is how we want to store that shotgun. There's a term that's widely used for the police departments. It's called cruiser ready, to where they simply load, this one holds 6, to where they would hold, say, 4 or 5 shells, officer's preference, in the magazine tube. After closing the action, simply load your 4 or 5 in here and leave space for a couple additional shells. What that allows me to do is, if I wind up out in the yard in the middle of the night and my fruit of the looms, things have gone bad, and I decide that the distance is a little bit further than my double-aught buck is capable of handling, I may need to select slug is what we call it. So at that point, I can go to my shell caddy and draw 2 slugs off of it, insert those 2 slugs, and my first 2 rounds through this, after I chamber it or cycle the slide, will be slugs. That gives me greater distance. My experience was, I was good out to about 150 yards with this gun with slugs. Double-aught buck, after about 25, you really want to start rethinking your ammunition choices. The side saddle on this gun is what allows me to carry ammunition on the gun. Yeah, as you can see, I've also got a speed feed stock here, which I keep a couple additional slugs in. One thing that the instructors at this school I just returned from were adamant about was having ammunition on the shotgun. After going through what I did, I'm a believer. Here's the thing, guys. When you grab this gun in the middle of the night, you are not going to grab an extra box of shells and stick them in your pocket. You're just not going to do it. What you have on the shotgun is what you're going to take with you. So a side saddle is an absolute must. The speed feed stock works for me, excuse me. I have heard mixed reviews on these, but I've had no trouble with mine. Another thing that is an absolute must on a shotgun is a sling. I've got a couple different styles of slings here. This sling, for example, is just a traditional carry sling. I can sling this over one shoulder. The other sling I have is more of a tactical sling. This one particular one's made by Magpul. Once I sling in and out of it, I can lengthen or shorten the sling as I need. This will hang across the front of my chest, which I'll demonstrate here in a minute for you. Added ammunition to your shotgun as well as a sling are 2 things that are an absolute must. Any shotgun in my home has these 2 things on them. The third thing to consider is some type of a light. Admittedly, indoors, we're talking about a close-in weapon, and oddly enough, bad things happen in the dark. So on this particular shotgun, I've got a stream light, 4-in mounted light. This thing ran extremely well in training. We did do a night shoot during the class, and it functioned as advertised. Great piece of gear. There's several companies that make 4-in lights. You can also go the other route of a clamp-on light with either a tape switch or a tail cap switch on it. Your choice. Your gear is your gear. This is just the way I choose to set my guns up. Shotgun is widely thought of as an antiquated weapons platform by a lot of people. I firmly don't believe that. I believe it still has its place. It does have a couple limitations, though. The first one being recoil. Admittedly, these things have got a little bit of kick to them. A lot of people don't like that. And the second one is ammunition capacity. One of the ways we get around that, both of these shotguns have extension tubes on them. This one's admittedly shorter. I think this is like a +1. And I've got a full-length extension tube on this tan gun. Allows me to load more ammunition. So just to recap, when I store these shotguns in my closet, what I will do is I'll load 4 rounds in this gun, just in the tube. And that's the way it sits. In the event I need this gun and I want to go with double-aught, I'll rack it once, chambering around, and I can use my shell caddy to top off off the rest of the tube, and I've got a full load in this gun. Very, very efficient. There are people out there, and I used to be one of them, that thought that keeping a shotgun loaded weakened the magazine spring. That's an old wives' tale. Modern metallurgy has come a long way. I recently read an article about a man that had come across 3 AR-15 magazines that, after he did a little bit of figuring, had been loaded for 17 years. Took them out, curious, ran them on the range, and they ran flawlessly. What weakens the magazine spring on shotguns, or a magazine, if you will, is the constant loading and unloading. You know, you load it, you run it, you shoot it. That's where magazine springs start getting weak. You don't have that problem by keeping the magazine loaded all the time. So please don't let that enter into your decision to keep this gun cruiser, or civilian word, closet ready is another good term we use. This tan gun, as you can see, it's got a set of rifled sights on it, and I found that very helpful during the training I just went through. This allowed me to be very accurate with my slug shots out to 150. The shorter shotgun here has got a traditional bead sight on it. While there were students in the class that were using this bead sight, and some of them were getting pretty good hits with it, I think that the rifled sight, my personal opinion, is a better way to go. But once again, to each his own. Your gear is your gear. Set it up the way it works for you. At the end of the day, guys, the shotgun, still a very good platform for self-defense. I highly recommend this weapons platform for defending yourself or your family. But once again, it's like any other weapons platform out there. Take the time to get trained on it. One of the things that I brought back from the school was how hard we ran these guns. And we ran them hard for 3 solid days. I saw guns break. I saw things fall off of guns. Sling swivels would fail. A variety of problems happen with different students' guns. Going to these intensive schools is a great way to get out and test your gear to see exactly how it's going to function should you need it in a real world problem. So if you're going to own one of these, take the time to get out, shoot it, run it hard, get some training on it, and I think you'll find that this is a very good choice for defending your home and your family. Guys, if you have any ideas for future videos, don't hesitate to send them our way. And also, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button at the bottom of your screen. We'll see you next time.